few more minutes. Morning, Dan, or good afternoon, Dan, I should say.
Hey, Riley. Hey, Mike. Riley, why you look so far away?
Because I am. I'm actually really
you
no.
look like you're actually in the mountains.
Hold on, I'm using OBS Studio, so I'm really small. Hold on, let me make myself a little bit bigger, shall I? Oh no. Hold on, I'll get bigger here in just a second. You ready? You ready for the magic, Dan? And
cool
Alakazam.
The mountain.
All right, there we go. I'm a little bit bigger now. So over to this one.
Hey, it's Dan.
The other Dan.
Hey, Dan.
Hey,
yeah,
Mike.
the other Dan.
Oh, you talking to me, Mike, or the other Dan?
No, you.
Oh, okay. Hi.
How you doing?
Good, good.
Good.
Alrighty. So we got a few people in here. We'll go ahead. We got this streaming, so on YouTube. So we may have some people watching it there. Which, I did have quite a few ask if there was going to be other platforms other than Zoom to have this on. So, Dan, are you going to have a screen share that I can pin?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm not a screen share.
Oh, no, not you, Dan. The other Dan, the presenter, Dan. All right, about 2 minutes after, Dan, I'll turn it over to you whenever you are ready. So I think we're gonna have some people that will be coming in as we go, and then we'll have it on the YouTube as well. And another cool thing is that we're also gonna save it, keep it on there so people can watch it later on. Obviously edited to not have all of us here just jaw jacking right before it. So Mr. Dan, I will turn it over to you. Is there anything you need before we start?
No, I don't believe so. Just gonna set up my screen share here. And okay, that's not what I want to show you. There we go. No, that's not it either, is it?
What I love was the major run. I've never heard anyone approach it like that.
Give me just a second here to.
You've been doing all secular music on the show. You can just feel.
All right. You can see. That's what I'm seeing. I'm looking at Riley's screen. Right?
Yep.
Everybody can hear me? All right. I'm Dan, W4WWF. I am the EC from Davidson County here in Nashville, Tennessee. And tonight, my presentation is going to be a high overview of Winlink. How many people are pretty familiar with Winlink, know a little bit about it, what it is? Or do we have some people that just know the name and that's about it? So what is Winlink? Winlink is a network of amateur radio and authorized government licensed stations that provide worldwide radio email and using radio pathways where the internet is not present. The system is built, operated, and administered by licensed hand volunteers. It supports email with attachments, position reporting, weather, information bulletins, and is well known for its role in interoperable emergency and disaster relief communications. It is capable of operating entirely without the internet, automatically using smart network relays. Who uses Winlink? Obviously, amateur radio, that's where we're at, primarily for Aries. But the military also uses a version of Winlink, the DoD and for Mars. Races, the American Red Cross, some other disaster relief organizations, the Salvation Army, Coast Guard, shares, and many, if not the majority of federal, state, and local government agencies worldwide use Winlink or their version of Winlink. And that basically, the biggest difference is encryption. Government can use encryption where we can't. Why Winlink? First and foremost, it's because it's reliable, accurate, and flexible. Over a 15-year period, 15 years, it has demonstrated a 99.99% availability. And in 15 years, it had 100% accuracy in message transaction. Is my screen still shared?
Yeah, I see it.
Okay. So that is a record that's hard to beat. In 15 years, it was 100% accurate. The radio connection bridge to the internet, email, standard email formats and features, and it reduces voice congestion. It basically gives you email where there's no internet. And how it works, the radio connection bridge to the internet email. Winlink messages can be sent via radio from a user that has absolutely no internet connectivity to a Winlink radio node that has internet connectivity. When an internet connected Winlink node receives a message addressed to an internet address, the Winlink system will inject the radio message into the normal internet email system. And when it talks about an internet address, that obviously means outside Winlink. So Winlink has its own internal email. So it's basically when you sign up for Winlink, your internal email is your call sign. That's it. You can send me an email from Winlink just at W4WWF. So that's what it's talking about when it's talking about an internet email. You want to send it to Gmail or AT&T or Yahoo email. Conversely, messages received from the internet can be sent via radio to Winlink nodes that have no internet connectivity. Some of the standard email formats and features of Winlink include standard NIMS ICS forms, which are embedded within the program. Examples include the ICS 213 general message form, the ICS 213RR, the ICS 214, the ICS 309. Just about all of the ICS forms are part of Winlink and that you could fill out. And I'll show that here at the end of this slideshow. The binary file attachments such as pictures, PDFs, and spreadsheets, and automatic message compression, decompression to minimize the message size. Anybody who's already used Winlink over the radio knows size is king. If you've got a big message and you're connected to a 1200 baud RMS station, you know, it's going to take a while. Modes of operation. The Winlink system has 3 basic modes of operation. The first one is a normal mode. In this mode, the Winlink messages are stored in an internet-connected email server known as a common message server. It's very similar to the email architecture that we're all familiar with, that we use every day. Winlink deviates from a standard email service by incorporating the RF gateway stations known as radio message servers, or RMS. When an individual Winlink user needs to send a message, the individual user will first send that message via radio to an RMS station, radio message server. The job of the radio message server is to send the received message via the internet to the Winlink common message server. Once connected, the RMS will also ask the CMS if it has any pending messages for the sending station. So just like regular email, when I send an email up from RMS to the CMS, CMS says, hey, you got any email for W4WWF? And if it does, it's going to download it and send it to me. The second mode of operation is peer-to-peer. You can connect your radio and your Winlink station to another radio and Winlink station peer-to-peer directly without going through anybody. Peer-to-peer operations cuts out all the middlemen. It enables any 2 radio users operating on the same frequency and using the same protocol to exchange Winlink message traffic. Of course, there's limitations. Both must be on the air at the same time, direct RF connectivity, and the same frequency and protocol. Basically, you've got to be in line of sight, or at least your 2 radios have to be able to talk to each other. And then the third mode is the radio only store and forward without the internet. This network capability was developed to ensure federal, state, and local agencies could maintain email connectivity in the unlikely event of a total internet outage. When operating in this mode, Winlink users will worldwide still have the ability to exchange email traffic. Basically, it's going to hold your RMS that you're connected to is going to hold that email until it gains internet connectivity. If it needs to go to an internet email address. If it just needs to stay within the Winlink organization, then obviously you don't need to send it. You don't need internet. Everybody loves diagrams. So this is pretty much what we just talked about. So down here at the house, there's your station within the disaster zone. You've got your antenna. You're going to send a Winlink email to an RMS station, a radio messaging service. So you're going to connect to the closest one. Your radio is going to connect to one of these RMS stations. It's going to pass the traffic, and then that RMS station is connected to the internet, and then it will forward it up to the CMS. Not that long ago, Winlink had its own CMS servers worldwide. I think we had 4 worldwide, and they were all redundant, so that if you sent if your RMS station sent it to the one in California and California was down, it would automatically forward it to the one in Europe. That was costly and it was hard to maintain. Right now, the common message servers sit in the Amazon Web Service, AWS. The odds of that going down are pretty slim. The federal government uses it. Every agency of the government uses it. So that's where the CMS, that's where your radio message gets interdicted into the regular email internet. What happens if your RMS servers that you send the email to has no internet? We'll talk about this in the next couple slides. Most RMS stations will hold your email until it reestablishes internet in some way or shape or form. There are RMS stations out there that are called hybrid, to where it has a VHF, UHF connection and a backup of HF. So if the internet is down, it will fail over to HF and attempt to forward your email via HF to a CMS that's not in the affected area. Winlink hates spam. I hate spam. We all hate spam. So how does Winlink handle spam? It's very, very, very important, since we're talking about sending email over RF. Spam could just clog up the entire system. So the Winlink 2K mail filter is an account feature in all Winlink accounts. It's automatic. You can't turn it off. It's a mechanism for the positive control of spam and from the internet accounts sending mail inbound to users of the Winlink system. Winlink user to Winlink user mail is not subject to this action. So if I'm sending an email to Riley completely within Winlink, there is no spam filter. The spam filter kicks in when you are receiving email from the outside internet. How does it do that? So to be delivered to a Winlink user, any message from the internet must have the sender's from address listed in the recipient's accepted list, which means your whitelist. So in my Winlink account, I had to have W4WWF@gmail.com. I had to have that email address already in my account as a accept list or the whitelist in order for it to go through. Or you have to tell the sender that somewhere in the subject line, they must include the / WL2K somewhere in the subject line. That / WL2K is your secret code to tell the spam filter, I'm okay, send my message. If that / WL2K character string is found in the subject line, the message will bypass the filter and be forwarded normally. Message inbound from the internet which do not pass these rules are not delivered and are bounced back to the sender with a service message that includes a link to a helpful message. So if Fred sends me an email from Fred@gmail.com, it's not already in my accepted list and he doesn't have the secret code, that email is going to be stopped at the front door and it's going to be bounced back to Fred with an information message and basically says, hey, you need to contact the sender of this email, to be approved to send it. So that's how it stops email spam filter. It's very good and there's no way around it. How does an address get added to an accept list? Each message you send from your Winlink account to a recipient and an internet email address will automatically be recorded in your accept list. So if I send Fred an email first to his Gmail account, it automatically adds him that email address into my accept list. So the best way to not complicate anything, is to send an email message first to that person, which will put that person's email in your accept list, and then all they have to do is hit reply. So that's the easiest way, is to send them an email first. But if that's not possible, tell them include the / WL2K. Addresses on your accept list remain for a period of time and are purged if not used by the end of the period. The period is currently set at 6 months and it may be adjusted. So if you don't send an email, use that email that's in your accept list. At this time, it says 6 months, it's going to delete it. If you don't sign in and use your Winlink account in 365 days, it gets deactivated. So that's how they keep the Winlink system from becoming stale and loaded with accounts that just aren't used anymore. You may send a special message to the system giving it instructions for changes to your accept list. And you can also manage all of your accept list from your account on the Winlink website. Interoperability. This adds another level of robustness to the Winlink system. Winlink does not restrict users to a single communications protocol, RF frequency, or band. The system supports a constellation of RF gateway nodes that operate on a wide range of HF, VHF, and UHF frequencies. The system also supports a wide range of communications protocols, such as Packet, VARA, R.2, PACTOR. This means using a PACTOR modem. The intended recipient in Florida could receive the message connecting to a local VHF gateway node and downloading the message via 1200 baud packet. That's awesome. That means you don't have to buy, everybody has to be on the same pieces of equipment, the same protocols, the same bands. It really is allows you to be very flexible. The geographical dispersion and redundancy for reliability. This means that users have the ability to connect to a wide range of RF gateway nodes located in a variety of locations. There can be multiple VHF, UHF gateway stations within any local area, so if a single RF gateway fails, an alternate site can be used. Likewise, HF users can connect to nodes located virtually anywhere in the world. This would enable users operating in an area impacted by a regional internet outage to still exchange email traffic with unimpacted areas. So Nashville, the Nashville greater area, we have more than one reachable UHF, VHF RMS station, so that in the hopes that, you know, there's a regional internet outage or a city, for example, the Nashville Christmas Day bombing, we could still use the other RMS gateway off of VHF. So this is a RMS map for VARA HF. You can see it's around the world, and it's just like voice. If you can connect to it, you can talk to it, you can send Winlink to it. Of course, just like voice issues, HF has its own unique problems too, propagation and connectivity. The nice thing is that the error checking on Winlink both ways, it will never send a message that has errors in it. That's how it maintains a 100% accuracy rate over 15 years. This is a RMS map of VARA FM. You can see it's heavily used here in the US. I'm going to skip that because I'm going to show you my actual Winlink screen. There's limitations. The small attachments, they've got to be around 120 kilobytes. That's tiny. So if you're attaching a photo or a screenshot, it's got to be no bigger than around 120 kilobytes. From everything I just described, Winlink seems a very simple email program. It reminds me of AOL in the early days. But I have to tell you, Winlink's a very, very powerful program. It has its own size imager. It will resize images for you um, to be able to get it down to 120 kilobytes. Uh, it's very, very powerful program, but it fools you because it looks too simple. The speed is another limitation. Data transfer speeds are generally slow, dependent upon the radio connection and the modem used. Uh, you know, uh, the previous slide, the different protocols, you could use VARA, you could use packet, all depends upon what your speed is on your modem and what the receiving RMS station is. 1200 is about the slowest, and that's when you just push send and go make a cup of coffee, eat breakfast, take a shower. Uh, that's why brevity is important. Say what you need to say and nothing else more. The Win in WinLink means it's Windows only. The primary client, WinLink Express WL2K, runs on WinLink, limiting use on other operating systems. There are other software that was written for Android and Linux. So if you're an Android Linux fan, there are equivalent software now. Radio dependent, it relies on VHF and HF radio, meaning propagation, antenna quality, and gateway availability heavily influence the success. It may take you several times to get one message through. Just like voice. Hey, I didn't hear you. You faded off. Can you repeat what you said? Same thing with WinLink. Your message may not go through the first time. It may not go through the second time, but the third time it will. So just because your message didn't go through the first time, think, oh, it failed. Nope, just try again. Limited bandwidth, the digital modes compete for limited amateur radio spectrum, requiring users to listen for a clear frequency. There is a band plan for WinLink and for data. It's a pretty thin slice. There is no encryption. Obviously, FCC rules prevent encryption, though data appears to be garbled to casual users. For those of us that's been around, if you listen to a WinLink being transmitted, it sounds like a fax machine. The accounts are purged 400 days after inactivity, no radio or telnet web access. So at least check in once a year via telnet just to keep your account active. And gateway dependence, while peer-to-peer radio exists, seamless email relies on gateways connecting to the internet, which can fail or become congested. In everyday use, RMS stations are pretty readily available, but you can imagine in an affected area, that RMS station could be heavily used. So there are some best practices. This one is important. I didn't realize this one until I found and read it. It makes sense. Use your radio to send WinLink messages if you're in the affected disaster zone. If you are operating in the disaster zone and you have no internet, by all means, that's what the radio is there for. Use your radio connected to your computer, your laptop, to be able to send and receive email. If you have internet, use Telnet. This keeps the frequencies open for those in the disaster zone. Again, if you've got internet, use the internet. Use your RF, your radios, for if you have no internet. Keep the messages short. No, hey, Riley, how's it going today? Here's my updated list of supplies I need for this rest stop. Nope, keep it short. Rest stop 1, supplies needed, and list them out. Practice before the emergencies. Just like everything we talk about, everything we do, you've got to practice and use this. It's like CW. Once you learn CW, if you don't keep using it, you're going to forget it. And when you need it, you're going to forget it. During emergencies is not the time to be breaking out the manual and trying to catch up on that. And again, test the equipment regularly. I'm going to cover some websites here. Tennessee has a anytime check-in, so you can send a Winlink message, test message, exercise message anytime that you want, and it's a great way to practice. If you're a night shift worker and you want to practice it at 2 a.m., send it. Winlink.org is the homepage where everything gets started. We're fortunate here in Middle Tennessee that we have one of the Winlink engineers here in Middle Tennessee. He lives down in Williamson County. He's part of the Williamson County Aries. MCOM-training.org is a Winlink Thursdays. Every Thursday, this is an awesome group to join. Every Thursday, they will have an exercise to complete. It's homework. And what it's doing is teaching you to use a certain part of Winlink. For example, let's take how to reduce images. They'll present that as your assignment for the day. It will give you step-by-step instructions, exactly how to do it and who to send it to. And so it teaches you how to do that task and sends it into to be graded. And then they present a map of everybody who presented and everything. It's an awesome way. Doesn't take a whole lot of time. It's once a week, maybe a half hour. There's several of them out there that do this now. There's one called Winlink Wednesdays. One of the best YouTube content creators for Winlink is Wave Talkers. Your fellow hams, ask your fellow hams. There's plenty of Winlink users everywhere. Just ask, hey, are you good at Winlink? For iOS devices, if you've got an iPhone, radiomail.app is the app to have on your phone. It's basically Winlink for Apple. It is a paid app. I want to say when I got it, it's $5.99, and everybody tells me it's different. I paid for it a long time ago. But that is the app to get if you want to use it on your iPhone. You can use Telnet. You can, I have a VTech UV Pro, which has a built-in KISS modem. My phone Bluetooths in my HT, and then I use that Radio Mail app. It will send my traffic out over my HT, just as if I was using it on a computer and a radio. Android has several different apps. We'll add. I'm not an Android person, but it works very similar. One of the communication protocols is VARA. Anybody who's done HF data, VARA revolutionized the speed for data transmissions on amateur radio. Before VARA came along, if you wanted the fastest speed possible, you'd have to get a Pactor modem, and Pactor modems easily are in the thousands of dollars, anywhere from $2,000 to $4,000, and even those are capped. The FCC caps it, and in order to get the full speed, the FCC has to issue an exception during that period of time. VARA revolutionized it. You get Pactor speed and more, all from software, from the VARA software. Winlink is completely integrated with VARA. You can use VARA for FM. You can use VARA for HF. The VARA has the free version of it, which does cap your speed, or you can pay $69 for a lifetime license, which gives you as fast a speed as you possibly can. PC, it's got a radio there. It's got on the left there, that little box with some red labeling. That's my sound modem. And on the bottom left, you can see that's my hotspot, internet, and the antenna. that's my RMS station. It's listening on 145.010, which is part of the band plan for Winlink and for data. And that software up there is the monitoring software. I've got a live view here I'll show, but that's it for an RMS station. It will receive your traffic that you're sending out from your RF, gets into my radio here, into the software, and then my software, the RMS software, will forward that through the internet. And then obviously in that flow chart, it goes up to the CMS and in the AWS clouds, and out it goes. So it's not difficult. It's just something you got to learn. If you've got a repeater site, you've got an extra antenna. I encourage you. Me personally, I wanted to do an UHF VHF because I thought that was important for my local area. Being an EC for Aries, if something happened locally or regionally, I didn't want. It's easier for people with UHF VHF to get in an RMS station than it is HF. Obviously, HF, you've got to have, your license, general or extra. You've got to have that HF equipment. So VHF, UHF is a lot low cost into it. All right, let me show you. Dun, dun, dun. This is a live view. You can see my live view of my RMS station. I am remoted into the PC right there. So this station here, that radio has a 9600 baud modem into it. So my RMS station here is faster than obviously a 1200 baud. And in this area, mine's the fastest. The few other stations that are in Middle Tennessee are 1200 baud. So this is my sound card interface, that little black box that had the red labels on it, and it's just listening. It will pick up anybody who's beaconing also. This box here, this is RMS packet. This is the actual RMS. I can connect via my HT outside when I'm outside in the yard, but in the house it's challenging. But let me see, so you can see what it looks like when somebody is sending traffic here. I tried it before the net, and hopefully now that it's evening, a little bit easier to do. But all right, we'll see. So when you'll see this screen here this section here under Telnet event channel events, so will go blank when it gets a connection. And there you go. So my radio is connecting. You can see it's downloading traffic email that I had sitting up there, and you can see that right here. That was pretty quick. That was a 9600 baud speed, and there you go. That's all. Now we got it. Let me show you now. So that's my RMS station. My Winlink station, or my Winlink software is, yep, already running. So this is what the Winlink looks like. Looks very like a AOL type setup. The only difference really is that in today's right now, when you push send, when you create an email and you push send, it sends it out to the internet right away. That's the difference in Winlink. When you create a message, let's create a message. I clicked on the new message one. I'm going to send a message to W4WWF. If I'm sending a message internally within Winlink, all I need is your call sign. just a test. And this is a simple text test. So I'm done. And now instead of pushing send, you see here, it says post to outbox. Because Winlink is not connected to the internet 100% of the time like we are, you post it to your outbox. So now you can see in my outbox over here, I've got one message ready to be sent. If I'm done composing all my emails now I'm going to decide what protocol I want to use to send my email. The telnet here is obviously telnet, that's internet. If you've got internet on your computer, laptop, whatever you're using to send this one, you just select telnet and it's going to use your internet. You can select Pactor, Packet, Pactor. You can see all these different protocols. VAR, there's a VAR HF, VAR FM. If you've got a Iridium satellite Go box, looks like a little hotspot that connects to the Iridium satellites up in space. It will even connect to that and let you use that device. That's a recent one. Here's your point-to-point or peer-to-peer different protocols. Post offices, if anybody is familiar with the ARDN, Amateur Radio Emergency Data Network, we have our own post office on the ARDN network. Think of it as a VPN, private VPN. So we have a post office on our VPN that you can send to. It acts just like a RMS gateway. So I'm just going to send it via computer, via the internet, and I'm going to open the session. So this dialog box is going to open, said, hey, I'm ready. And you push start. And it connected. Obviously, going over the internet is way faster. I just sent my message. And that was it. This was one that we downloaded earlier. And there it is. I sent it from one of my email addresses into that. And I'll touch real briefly on message forms. All the ICS forms, if you're doing any type of MCOM traffic or anything else like that, you know about ICS forms. So you're going to start a new email just as normal. And instead of just using text, you're going to come up here and select templates. And you're going to go standard forms. Now you see all these different categories. You've got ARC, which is American Red Cross. California has their own unique forms. FEMA's got their forms. Your ICS forms. There's your ICS forms. Let's do a general form, Winlink check-in. So when people say, hey, let's do a Winlink check-in, when you click that form, it's going to open up into a web browser with the form. You just fill in the blanks. This is Winlink check-in. I'm going to send this to Riley, W4WWF. It's from me. Here's my station name, Dan Sigmund, DS. This is an exercise. You've got real event, you've got amateur shares, what's your band, telnet, example, I'm sorry, a location. You put your major cross streets, and then you can put if you can even have a GPS connected, it'll pick up your longitude and latitude automatically. Otherwise, you enter that manually, and then your message. This station needs some rest. After that, you push submit. What that does, it's going to name your message for your subject. You push OK, and it's going to warn you, hey, I'm now going to take this form and put it in an email, and this page will close. You know, it's closed, and now you see just data. I'm going to post that. When Riley gets that, and he opens up the attachment, it's going to show up as a form instead of just data. So that's really cool. if you have to send forms. And look at that. Riley sent a message back. Got it. There you go. Why is WinLink important? Why can't I just use voice? That's what amateur radio is for. When you need to pass data and more than just voice information, you need something more reliable than just voice. And I'll give you the example here. I'll give you the example. Christmas Day bombing here in Nashville. The majority of the hospitals lost internet. And if you're not in IT or computers, you know that 99% of all phones now are internet VoIP. So when the internet was lost, not only do you lose internet data, you lose your voice phones. The majority of the hospitals here in Middle Tennessee lost data and they lost voice. So let's say you've been called out to support hospital XYZ, and the pharmacy comes up to you and says, Dan, I need you to send this list of drugs we need to resupply to the health department so they can resupply us. Ain't nobody I know that can pronounce any of those drug names that have 23 consonants and one vowel correctly in order to get the right drug. There's no way you're going to pronounce any of that stuff over the voice. And that's where WinLink comes in. You can simply type out all that information, send it in WinLink, and your hospital gets the drugs that it needs. That's my example on why WinLink plays a very important part in emergency communications. And my opinion is, if you're into IMCOM and you just have everything set up for voice, you're only halfway there. You got to have WinLink in your box. You just have to. That's my opinion.
Hey, Dan.
Yes, sir.
Can you send me a test email? Because I have WinMail on my iPhone. I never used it.
Okay. What's your call sign? W4WWF.
DEC. Yeah.
Test email. This is a simple text test. Everything. Yeah. So that's why I consider WinLink very important, is that when you need to pass data, you need to pass a picture. Why do you need a picture? You know, maybe a local disaster service. Hey, I need to get this picture of this damage of the building over to, Homeland Security so you can see the damage. There you go. Now you need to send a picture, and you have to know how to resize that picture within WinLink to get it down to 120 kilobytes, which is tiny. WinLink will do it. Here's the part where a lot of people get hung up on learning WinLink. They watch videos, they watch YouTube videos, and they get hung up on connecting your laptop, your computer to your radio and your sound card and your antenna. That's the most difficult. That's one of the two most difficult parts or challenging parts. It's not difficult. It's just everybody has their own setup and you just got to figure out how to do it. When they get challenged, people just say, well, forget it. The important part is actually to learn WinLink. Download WinLink. You do not sign up. Here's the trick. You don't sign up for WinLink on winlink.org. You actually sign up by downloading the software first, WinLink, and you go into settings, WinLink Express Setup, and this is where you actually set up your first account. So if you don't have a WinLink account, you're going to winlink.org and say, I can't find no place to sign up. it's a trap. You've got to download the software first and sign up from there, send it in, and then you'll be good. You can also check your Winlink email from winlink.org. So once you have an account, you can go to winlink.org and log in to see if you've got email. Let me, all the charts I showed you with different RMS stations are found here. Here's your RMS map. You can select what communications protocol. If you want to see who's got packet, you can select the. I'm not sharing my screen. So you can go to winlink.org, click on tools, and you can see, bring up all this live information. If you want to say, hey, I want to find, the stations that have packet modems, packet modem radios. So you can go to this and then zoom in to your location and actually bring up, let me bring up Tennessee here. And you can click, hey, what about this in Knoxville? There's the call sign, there's his frequency and type of antenna, and he's running packet at 1200 baud. You're like, okay, packet, 1200 baud. Well, not the fastest, but it'll work. So you can find the stations in your area if you're trying to connect VHF, UHF. There's my station right there. You can change this to, let me go back here. So you see mine's packet 9600. Ah, okay, that's a little faster. So you can select any type of communications protocol that you want. But these are live. It takes a moment to bring it back up. But here's your RMS list. If you don't look at a map, if you like text kind of things, you can look it up here. Good stuff if you're looking to connect. Propagation map tells you what your best chances are of connecting to somebody, especially if you're trying to do HF. And CMS status. That is the CMS running up in the cloud. That's where your radio email gets interjected into the public internet. And you can check to see, hey, is the CMS down? Did the Chinese Iranian hackers get into the Amazon Web Services, or is it my equipment? So you can see, nope, all of them are running, must be me. Find out the monitor traffic by protocol. So you can see last month, there was 10,369 messages sent via Winlink. And looks like Vara here was the most widely used communications protocol. So that's my presentation in a nutshell. And if anybody has any questions, I will try to answer them. I am not an expert, but I have a little bit of experience using it and running the RMS. So anybody have any questions? You have to unmute yourself if you have any questions. This is a high level overview. Like all of us, we find several good YouTube videos, and we learn from YouTube videos. Don't get stuck trying to connect your laptop, your computer to your radio in order to try to start learning everything first. Do that secondary. Learn Winlink. Join one of the Winlink Wednesday, Winlink Thursdays. You will get a lot out of that. You will learn a lot out of that. It looks simple, but it's a very, very powerful platform. Not only can you send the text, you can send forms, you can request NOAA weather maps. Winlink is used widely on the maritime, on boats and ships. Sailors, yachtsmen, they all have their version of Winlink, and that's how they get all their weather maps, weather forecasts from the National Weather Service, is on a boat. You may see a movie where it's spitting out like a little fax machine. They're using a version of Winlink and a radio. So there you go. But like I said, if you're in the MCOM and you're only, you're relying on a voice, in my opinion, you're only halfway there. The first time somebody comes up and wants you to send a list of something, and spelling counts, I use the drug as an example. That's where Winlink comes into play, and it takes the errors out, and makes everybody's job a little easier. Instead of trying to list 20 minutes trying to get this list over, you could have sent it in 5. And that's my presentation. If there's no questions, I'll turn it back to Riley.
Thank you, Dan.
Thank you.
So I do have a question. And it's a question that I've heard a lot of people ask. Say they have a site, or they have, they live up on a knoll and they want to set up their own gateway. Is it like APRS in the fact that it takes out some of having gateways too close together will remove, the distance, or does it help the distance? Is it have a hop kind of like APRS?
It doesn't have a hop, except for when you're set up for hybrid mode, to where if you're running VHF, UHF, and your internet goes down, your backup would be HF, then it would hop over. But in a traditional sense, like APRS, no. Once it hits an RMS station, once it hits my RMS station, the next step is sending it through the internet to the CMS, which is Amazon. So if my little hotspot lost internet, my station, when you connect to my station and my station lost internet, it will still let you connect, but it will tell you a little warning. Hey, this station has lost its internet connection. If you decide to continue to push send now, we'll hold your message and send it automatically once the internet's been restored, or you could just disconnect now and not send your message. There's not a whole lot. If I pulled up the map and showed hybrid stations, there's not a whole lot, because it is more complicated. It is more equipment. As you know, we are all funding this out of our own pockets. And if you're at a repeater site, putting up an HF antenna or string and wire can be pretty challenging. So no, it doesn't.
Oh,
The other question you may think of is, what about if there's more than one you want to put? Like here in town, when I first started, I knew there were several others in the greater Nashville, Middle Tennessee area. And I'm like, do I need this coordinated? Kind of like when you get a repeater, I got to go through SARA to get, repeat coordinated. And what my guru down in Williamson County, who's part of the